Hello, Cambridge, and welcome to What's That About, where we answer all your questions about the pressing issues of the day, brought to you by CCTV, Cambridge's best TV station.
Yay.
I'm really excited because today is our annual year in review, where we look back at some of the greatest advice we've delivered over the past 12 months.
We've only been doing this since the summer, Max, although it does seem like a lot longer.
I know, right? It feels like I've known you forever.
Well, we've had a show before this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure, it was a calendar show.
Yeah, it wouldn't be our special year in review show without Special Agent Desmond Pomeroy now, would it? So let's bring him in right now. Year in review.
Wow. I just want to say that these are my favorite shows that we do.
Me too, Desmo. Year in review.
This is literally the first time we've done it. I'm not even sure how it's going to go yet.
H-crap, Julie? Anyway, if there's one thing that's defined 2020, it's the release of the new Oreo-flavored churro with cinnamon.
I don't think that's it, buddy.
It's definitely the pandemic. I mean, why do you think we're doing this over Zoom?
Sure, but those churro-flavored Oreos, they're so delicious and culturally appropriate.
Don't we start by looking back at what we were talking about in our first shows this summer?
Okay. Chris from Chuff Street asked us about safe activities to do in Cambridge during a pandemic.
And what about the shows in August?
Leslie wondered how to plan for the upcoming school year for her 8-year-old, and Geraldine wanted to know how colleges were handling students coming back. But the new Oreos didn't come out till September.
Oh, yeah, I remember those questions. We told Leslie that Cambridge was planning on opening schools for young kids, but not older ones.
Yep, and the city was trying to figure out affordable daycare options for working parents.
Huh. So how'd that work out?
Well, locally, we recently surpassed COVID infection thresholds in the city. So my old frenemy, Mayor Siddiqui, had to announce everyone has to go back to remote learning until infection rates drop.
Huh. How likely are the rates going to drop anytime soon, though?
Well, considering Charlie B has basically done absolutely nothing for months to try to stop community spread, low.
Well, at least the city was working on getting daycare straightened out, like you said, for all those kids back home. So parents should at least be able to have a normal work day, right?
Let's see here. Looking here, the thing about that is that never happened.
So parents like Leslie are left to figure out daycare on their own with skyrocketing demand and half the centers already short-staffed?
Yeah, I'm sure the city will figure it out at some point. When the council requests action from the city manager, he almost always jumps right to it in a few years, if at all. Actually, sometimes he just ignores our council.
So our current advice to Leslie is pray that the vaccine comes quickly and try to hold on to your sanity?
Well, but at least the city is trying to take care of people like Terry. Remember he wrote in and asked us this fall about how he was going to feed his family when the CARES payment ran out?
True. The city was still enforcing the eviction ban locally, even if Governor Charlie B was trying to speed up evictions statewide by hiring a bunch of lawyers to expedite court cases.
Right. Not cool, Charlie B. But as we reported, a number of organizations in Cambridge, public and private, did do an admirable job of setting up options for people in need to get groceries, utilities paid, even some counseling. Here.
What?
Aren't you going to boop it?
Oh, yeah, sure, Julie. Yeah.
Boop.
But the one thing the area didn't address very well was the demands for change coming out of the Black Lives Matter protests. Rick from Franklin Street asked us what we could do to prevent the type of police violence in Kenosha from happening here. And, well...
I remember a lot of protests. There were tons of people from all walks of life out in the streets in Cambridge and Boston. There was great speeches. I watched Do the Right Thing twice. So, those were positive, right?
Yeah, they were. There was and still is a massive call for change locally and statewide. For better public oversight of the police, real penalties for cops who abuse their powers, shifting of funds from police to community-based solutions.
Even the State House finally passed a compromise bill addressing some of these concerns.
Nice. Compromise is good. It's better than not a compromise.
Yeah. But my old buddy Charlie B is threatening to veto it unless lawmakers make a bunch more changes to satisfy the police unions.
Right, and if the police unions get their way, the final bill could be just another round of toothless reforms that police can ignore. Business as usual.
Oh, come on, people. Year in review. Positive. Yeah. Like, what about Eva from Amory Street? Remember when she wrote in and asked us how to vote safely and make sure her vote counted?
Oh, yeah, that was a good app, actually.
Yeah.
We pointed to all the ways Massachusetts made it easy to vote by mail, drop boxes, early voting.
Yeah, and the election went off like clockwork. I mean, that's a happy story. Oh, and then in November, Adam from Hampshire Street asked what he could do now that the GOP was fighting the election outcome. But it's the middle of December by now, so that's surely all water under the bridge, right? What?
Well, Desmond gave us some great advice on how to recognize false information on social media and what we can do to prevent its spread.
But Trump is still blanketing social media 24/7 with the lie that he won the election. You know the election, that one he lost by 7 million votes?
But didn't the Electoral College just today vote to elect Biden as the next president?
Sure, Max, but the problem is 40% of Americans trust anything Trump and his enablers in the GOP and cable news tell them. His followers are being told the election was stolen, and most of them seem to buy it.
So what are we going to do?
We're going to hold on to our britches, Max, old buddy. It's going to be an interesting 2021. But now, for the last time in 2020, Desmond Pomeroy out.
I really like that guy. But I was hoping this would be like a heartwarming episode. You know, year in review. My heart is not warmed.
Well, look at it this way, Max. We made it through.
I guess you're right, Julie. Do you want to help me do the end of the year sign off? Just this once for me.
Okay, Max. Just this once.
Nice. Until next year, we'll see you first. Yeah.
We got coronavirus, cops murdering people. Donald Trump thinks he's president for life. People getting evicted, not enough to eat. And the end of democracy. There will be feasting and dancing in Jerusalem next year. I'm gonna make it through this year. If it kills me, we are gonna make it through this year at CCTV. Maybe